Thank you, Mr. President. And I want to thank my colleague, Senator Casey, for organizing this brief tribute that is just so much deserved by the service members we're going to be acknowledging in a few minutes. I'd like to begin by extending my deepest condolences to the family, friends, loved ones of these true Pennsylvania heroes. In the lives that they led and the cause for which they died, these men represent all that's great about this great country. Some enlisted right after graduating from high school, and during those very tough and grueling days and weeks in basic training, I suspect they'd never heard of the places in Afghanistan where they would make this sacrifice. These Pennsylvanians, of course, join a long list of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard members who've given their lives for this country, to include those who gave their lives in World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and of course the ongoing war against violent radical Islamists all around the world. It's no accident that Pennsylvania has suffered so heavily in this conflict as it has in every other conflict in our nation's history. I think it's because in the towns across Pennsylvania, towns and cities such as Tafford and Moton, there are certain values that are deeply rooted in those communities: the importance of family, the importance of faith, the importance of serving this nation. There's a deep conviction that freedom is worth defending, and a belief that a cause worth fighting for is not just someone else's responsibility. These are the values that have helped shape these service members, their families, their churches, their houses of worship, and their communities. These values were exemplified in the lives of our fallen, who will forever be honored by our great Commonwealth for their service to this country. I'll begin reading the names of the men who made the supreme sacrifice for freedom last year in this conflict, and Senator Casey will complete the list. Chief Warrant Officer Matthew Paul Ruffner, U.S. Army, Tafford. Chief Warrant Officer Jarrett Michael Yoder, U.S. Army, Moton. Staff Sergeant Marek Soja, U.S. Army, Philadelphia. I yield the floor to Senator Casey.
Mr. President,
The senator from Pennsylvania.
I want to thank my colleague for starting the list, and I'll read the remaining names. And I should correct myself. I said 5 at the beginning, and I had the count wrong. It's actually 6 individuals. Staff Sergeant Thomas Basor, Jr., United States Army, Milton, Pennsylvania. Sergeant Patrick Hawkins, U.S. Army, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Staff Sergeant Patrick Quinn, U.S. Army, Corryville, Pennsylvania. Mr. President, as I conclude the list of Pennsylvanians who were killed in action over the past year, we want to say again, we honor them, we pay tribute to them, and by this brief commemoration, we remember them. We remember them, and we also remember the families they left behind. To quote Lincoln a second time, he once wrote to a family, and I'm quoting, "I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memories of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom," unquote. None of us could say it better than Abraham Lincoln did. But we offer that prayer tonight to the families.